Is it going? Welcome back! Welcome back to our channel. I'm pretty excited about this one because in this video, Kyle and I are headed to Montana to see some family. The plan is we're gonna fly. Well, Kyle's gonna fly. So we're gonna be flying a little airplane. Not this one. This is the 172?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the 172. We're gonna be flying it. It's little and there's 4 seats in there. And so this time I get to be Kyle's co-pilot. Watch out. The flight will be about 3 hours. Kyle's done some prep already for this flight. He's reserved the airplane, signatures he needs from the school, got a map, planned a route, and he knows where to go because I wouldn't know. So the morning that we're planning on leaving, we'll get up and Kyle will check the weather. There's a chance that the weather might be bad because it's winter and it's getting gross outside. If the weather's bad, we'll drive out. Wait and see.
That's 8 pounds. Let me write this down. How much was it?
41.
Alright, so that comes out to about 98 pounds, but we have a few other things too. So 100 pounds, I think we're good to go. We got an extra 50 pounds, so hopefully that should be good. Not hopefully, that is good. We could take an extra 50 pounds.
The microwave.
All right, it's 7 o'clock, a little after 7 o'clock, the morning of the day that we're planning to leave for Montana. I got up early to check for the weather, and this is the current weather. And if we zoom in here, this is the current weather at Phelps Field, which what I'm looking at here is this number telling me it's overcast at 1,300 feet, which is not real great. But if I zoom out here, what I'm worried about is I'm going from here over down into this area. I need to know where the clouds are. There's a lot of mountains in between here and there, so I need to make sure I have plenty of clearance with the clouds to get through these mountains. So there's one other tool that I want to look at here. You can see that we're actually in a little patch of clouds here, and they're overcast at 3,000. But if I would just fly a couple miles to the south, I could be out and pretty much clear to over in here where we're planning to go. And one other thing, it's forecasted to get really windy. If you look here, this is the forecast for Livingston, which is right close to where we're going. And it is forecasted to get up to 36, 52 knots. And I also have to fly home on Friday. This is what the weather is supposed to look like in the Northwest on Friday, which obviously that's all rain and snow. So that's not looking good for the return trip on Friday. So this is where the judgment calls of aviation just get really difficult, because if flying was my only option, I could take off out of here and I'd probably make it. I think I could find a route down south of here around the clouds. But with all this combined, the high wind, some clouds in between here and there that right in the mountain range, plus the crappy weather on Saturday, I think the best option is to drive. So we're gonna eat some breakfast and load up the truck and hit the road.
All right, so we made it back from our trip to Montana, and it was a good trip, and I promise I'll give you some highlights of that trip here in a few minutes. But since we don't have any cool flying footage to show you from our trip, we thought we would take a few minutes just to show you some clips from our summer and catch you up on what's been going on in our lives over the last few months. When I think of the beginning of summer, everyone thinks of Memorial Day, and Memorial Day this past summer, we actually did something that was pretty fun.
We went on a hike, and it was called Scotchman Peak, and it was Idaho. It was like 10 miles maybe. At the top, there was snow, pretty deep snow. And there were mountain goats, and they liked to follow us around and tried to lick us because we were sweaty and salty.
Yeah, they were pretty cool at first, but after a few minutes, they became annoying.
It was pretty crazy. It was a hard hike.
Yeah.
Highly recommend it if you are a hiker and you're in Idaho.
Something else I think of that happened at the beginning of the summer is,
So my test results came back positive for COVID.
so I got 2 weeks off of school. I worked on the house, did a lot of house projects. We've actually done a lot of house projects throughout the summer, so it wasn't just during COVID. But there were a lot of things that I did get done because I had 2 weeks off during my quarantine. But I'm all right, never got terribly sick, so here I am.
So the preschool that I work at ended for the summer, and so I took on a part-time job working at a park here in Spokane. It was outside. It's like kind of like a botanical gardens, really pretty. There's like a rose garden, a perennial garden, an annual garden, a lilac garden, a pond. It's really pretty. Anyway, so I worked in the annual garden, and me and 2 other ladies, we were in charge of weeding. So every morning, for about 5 hours, I'd go and mindlessly weed. Throughout the day, people would walk by and like thank me for my work, even though it was very mindless and the easiest job I've ever had, surrounded by beauty. So that was very fun.
And you got the golf cart stuck.
I did get the golf cart stuck. Granted, it was one of the broken ones and nobody had warned me about it, so.
We actually did another hike later in the summer, just a couple weeks after the Scotchman's Peak, and we went to another place up in North Idaho called Lookout Peak or Lookout Mountain or something like that. Also, there was a fire lookout station, maybe not quite as good of visibility as the Scotchman's Peak.
It was fun. We went camping that weekend.
Yeah, we went camping that weekend, so that was cool.
We live pretty close to Lake Coeur d'Alene, which is about 20-30 minutes away from our house. So we went there and went swimming a couple times this summer.
Yeah, it was fun. It's a nice lake. Also, at the end of June, my younger brother and my parents came out to visit for a few weeks. We did some housework, did some sightseeing around Spokane, and just caught up.
Kyle had a couple weeks off for summer break, but then he went right back to it for flying. So I went on a flight with Kyle and his flight instructor one time, and we went to northern Montana, almost to Canada, but we didn't go to Canada. Actually, did we go to Canada?
We did not. We came very close.
We were almost in Canada.
By accident.
But it was a cool ride.
One of the biggest things we did, one of the highlights of the summer, was we took a little vacation to Olympic Peninsula, which is on the, if you were looking at this map of the US, it's the northwest, very northwest, even of Washington, that has rainforests and hikes and mountains and lakes and ocean. It's pretty awesome. There's quite a few reports have said that it's one of the best national parks in the nation. Obviously, national park.
We enjoyed it. We did a lot of camping, hiking.
So one of the really cool parts about that was the rainforest. It's just, I've never been in a rainforest before, and I don't think I knew there were rainforests around here, and so it was really neat. Really dense and very green and
Huge trees.
vines and moss.
And I really liked, it was like Ruby Beach. There were lots of beaches along the way. When we first got there, it was super misty and foggy, and then the next day it was really clear and pretty cool.
Later in the summer, actually Labor Day weekend, my older brother and his wife and their daughter came to visit us, and that was the first time we had met our niece. And once again, we kind of hung out with them, did some sightseeing, and showed them around Spokane. And one thing that we didn't mention that we've been kind of overarched over the entire summer was we ran a marathon
Oh,
in November.
that did happen.
And so we trained for about 4 months in advance. So starting in, I think, May or June, we started training and ran roughly 3 to 4 times a week.
It's a 12-mile run for Sunday evening. We just got started.
Until November, and then we ran the marathon. Something that happened in mid-October is my class from Moody went on a 2-week extended cross-country trip, which is sort of a highlight of the entire program out here at Moody. So I'm not gonna say too much about that because I have tons of footage and I hope to make a video about that later, but it was a lot of fun.
While he was gone, my mom and my grandma came out and visited, and it was fun. We made applesauce and saw the sights in Spokane.
And I think with that, we're pretty much caught up to where we're currently at.
So I hope you enjoyed some of those videos from our summer. And as promised, here are some clips from our little trip to Montana.